All right, let's talk about something straight out of a disaster movie. What if you had just 2 weeks to stop a giant asteroid from wiping out a city? Sounds like Hollywood, right? Well, the crazy part is the plan to actually save our planet is based on some very real and, honestly, pretty brilliant science.
Okay, so let's dive right into this high-stakes scenario. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and the news is just everywhere. A massive rock the size of a whole sports stadium is hurtling towards Earth, and the impact? It's in just 14 days. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's just fiction. But believe me, the threat is way more real than you might think.
An impact like that, we're talking catastrophic. It would release the energy of 4,000 Hiroshima bombs. Think about that. A fireball brighter than the sun would just rip through the atmosphere. The shockwave would flatten entire cities, and millions would die, just like that.
And here's the part that's truly stunning, maybe even a little scary. For a threat this big, with this little warning, we don't really have a plan. You'd think we would, right? With all our technology, all our knowledge of space. But nope, we'd be caught completely flat-footed. No ready-to-go, guaranteed way to stop it.
Okay, so let's get into the unseen threat, because this isn't just some what-if scenario. The danger is very real, and you'd be surprised how often we have near misses.
And when I say near misses, I mean it. Check this out. In 2019, an asteroid the size of a 30-story building was spotted just one day before it flew past Earth. One day. And just last year, an even bigger one popped up on our screens with only 13 days' notice. I mean, if either of those had been on a slightly different path, game over. We would have had zero time to do anything.
So this really gets to the heart of the problem, right? Our current ideas for how to stop an asteroid, they're just way too slow. Things like, painting one side of it so the sun pushes it differently, or crashing a tiny spacecraft into it, these things are designed for the long haul. The original script had a great analogy for this. It's like trying to move a giant cargo ship by throwing potatoes at it. Yeah, it might work if you have decades of warning, but we're talking about weeks.
All right, so if we can't gently push it, why not do what they always do in the movies? The Hollywood solution. Just send Bruce Willis up there with a nuke and blow the thing to kingdom come, right? Well, turns out real life is a little more complicated. Yeah, a nuke actually fails for a few key reasons. First off, this thing is screaming through space at 70,000 kilometers an hour. It would literally just smash our missile to bits before the nuke could even detonate. Second, what if you blow it up nearby? Well, in space, there's no air, no shockwave. Most of that incredible energy just vanishes into the void. And third, that whole movie scene where they land and drill a hole, landing on a small, spinning, speeding rock in microgravity and then trying to drill with only a couple weeks' notice, it's basically impossible.
So yeah, even our most powerful weapon is kind of useless here. I love this quote. Hitting it with a nuke is like upgrading from throwing potatoes at that cargo ship to throwing a washing machine. I mean, it's better, I guess, but still totally useless. So we've got to forget the Hollywood ending and start thinking, well, more like a lumberjack.
And that brings us to this really cool idea, the cosmic axe. Because if brute force isn't the answer, we have to get smarter. We need a tool that's designed not to push, but to break.
And scientists have actually designed that exact tool. It's called a penetrator. Just think of it like a cosmic bullet. It's this long, thin rod made of tungsten, which is a super, super dense and hard metal. But here's the absolute genius part of the whole thing. We don't even have to shoot it.
The logic behind it is it's just so simple and elegant. Look, if you need to split a log, you're not going to just bash it with a big rock, are you? No, you use an axe, a tool that's shaped to concentrate all its force on one tiny point to split the wood apart. The penetrator? Well, that's our cosmic axe.
Okay, so here's how it works, and this is the key. We don't shoot it like a bullet. We just put it there. We fly it out into space, drop it off right in the asteroid's path, and let it float. The asteroid does all the heavy lifting. It's the asteroid's own incredible speed that turns this silent floating piece of metal into a weapon of unbelievable destructive power.
So here's the mission plan. We get that 2-week warning. We launch a rocket. It takes about a week to get to the intercept point. Then it just deploys one of these 2.5-ton penetrators and then gets the heck out of there. And then, bam! The asteroid collides with it. The impact releases the energy of 120 tons of TNT, and the asteroid is just pulverized, blasted into thousands of tiny, harmless pieces. The apocalypse turns into a really spectacular but totally safe meteor shower.
Okay, so we've got a plan for a stadium-sized rock. Problem solved, right? Well, what happens when the threat is much, much bigger? We're not talking a stadium anymore. We're talking about a mountain, a true planet killer.
This is a whole different ballgame. We're talking about a planet-killer comet. Not just a rock, but a giant mountain of dirty ice. And it's moving twice as fast. This isn't a city killer. This is an extinction-level event. We're talking the kind of thing that took out the dinosaurs.
And this is where our brilliant cosmic axe plan completely falls apart. See, for a planet killer, just breaking it up isn't good enough. You're not left with harmless dust, you're left with thousands of fragments that are still the size of cities. They would still rain down, set the entire sky on fire, and yeah, end of the world as we know it.
So how many penetrators would we need to actually pulverize something that big? Well, the math says we'd need 24,000 super heavy rockets just to carry them all. 24,000. To put that in perspective, humanity is still trying to get the first one of these rockets to work reliably. So if we spotted a planet killer today, we could do absolutely nothing. We'd just be helpless.
Except, maybe there is one last shot. One crazy, desperate plan. The ultimate plan. One that combines the precision of our cosmic axe with a little bit of that Hollywood brute force we talked about.
Okay, so here it is, the one shot to save us all. Step 1, we launch a single, specially prepared rocket. It's a long 5-month journey out past Mars to intercept the comet. Step 2, it deploys 5 massive penetrators in a perfect, straight line, an incredible feat of engineering. Step 3, the comet slams into the first 4, one after another. They act like a cosmic drill, punching a 100-meter deep tunnel right into the comet's core. And then comes the final step. The 5th penetrator, it's not just metal, it's delivering a package, a nuclear warhead. It goes deep inside that brand new tunnel, and then it detonates.
And this is the result. The nuke finally works. Why? Because it's not detonating in empty space. It's trapped deep inside the comet. The tunnel walls contain the blast, focusing all that incredible energy inward. It literally shatters the frozen world from the inside out. A billions of years old monster dies from within, turning into a cloud of millions of harmless fragments that just spread out in all directions. Humanity is saved. And here's the most mind-blowing part of this whole thing. This isn't science fiction. This isn't some far-off dream. This is a plan that is possible with the rockets, the engineering, and the knowledge that we have right now, today.
So that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? The problem isn't whether we can save ourselves from the cosmos. We've just seen that we can. The real question is, do we have the will to actually prepare for it? Are we going to do what it takes before we're staring down a 2-week deadline? That's something for all of us to think about.